I am Dr. Dream, and welcome to the It's All Good show. This broadcast is another in our EESystem Center Owners Interview Series. And this has been an exciting series for me to work on because of my love for EESystem, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael, the inventor, and everything surrounding it because of my own healing. And now I get to talk to others that have set up centers, that have dedicated their lives and everything to helping people with the EE system being kind of the foundational piece. And so today's broadcast is with a person who we met online, so to speak, just in social media. And like energy attracts like energy. And one day we said, hey, let's have a phone call. Let's just connect over the phone. And we had a lovely phone call. And I was just like, when I started this series, I was like, Catherine, I want you to be on the series. And so today I'd like to introduce Catherine MacTurk, and she's in Canton, Ohio. She has the Renewed Wellness Initiative. It is a 4-unit EE system. Now, I haven't talked to anyone that has a 4-unit EE system. We own a cube, which is 4 units, but they're not aligned, and so they don't have the power of a 4-unit. The cube is like the portable one. And we'll get to find out some information. And so, Catherine, welcome to the It's All Good show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Just start off by saying I love everything about you. Just
Thank you.
from the conversations that we've had, and I'm a bit of an empath, and so I really feel people's energy and everything, and I've just enjoyed our conversations. You and I talked a little bit before we started recording, and I'm just like, I'm so happy to be talking with you today. So you're a licensed nurse. That's your formal background, which I think is super cool that you went from that into obviously what would be considered alternative. And so give us a little bit of how you went from being a licensed nurse to being interested in alternative therapies to finding EE system.
Okay. Well, I worked in a hospital for 18 years in the DC area, Virginia, Maryland, DC area. And I ended up getting married, and we ended up moving, and I started to get sick. So I was no longer working in a hospital. I had 2 sons, and we moved 5 times. But during that time, I was very sick. And I have a sister that had introduced me, because the medical profession, I was not getting better. I was not getting answers. I was even being put on Zoloft for bugs crawling in my head, and it didn't work. But I had a sister that introduced me to muscle testing, biomeridian machines, energy medicine. And I used to, coming from an allopathic background, I kept thinking, these people are crazy. And so I would never have expected that I would be in a natural health, frequency-based practice. So after I started learning everything, and I learned things that I needed to do for me and also for my children. And Dr. Tenpenny actually did, we saw her, we saw the muscle testing, the allergy eliminating, and a lot of things that she did. And it was just like, it was definitely out of my paradigm, but it was like, wow, so there's something working here. We avoided surgery with my son on his ears. And so as time progressed and I was sick for 10 years, I kept learning different things that I could do for me to keep me alive. My deal with God was, if my kids could live till they were in the 5th grade, then he could take me, because in my mind, I rationalized that they could deal with my death. So I'm still here, they're still here. You know
Goodness.
how when you're sick, you'll make any deal. So I made that deal and I just kept learning more and more. And I started doing the foot detoxes way back when, and just learning as much as I could, muscle testing. I worked in a natural health store, and I had to be careful because of my nursing license. The store owner was saying, you cannot diagnose, you cannot tell them to take this, because I live in Ohio. It's one of the 8 red states in the United States. So I have to be very careful about telling anybody to take anything. So then I went into biofeedback and doing scans that showed toxins and different things, and also services that people would need. And I refer to, if I can't help them, I do refer to other practitioners, massage therapists, chiropractors, anybody that can help them. And then I got an amp coil, which was created for people with Lyme disease. And their goal was to eradicate Lyme disease and autoimmune disease by 2025. Well, we had a little blip in the road with COVID and everything. And my dream was to have an amp coil lounge where you had amp coils around and people could be using them. And then I saw, and I had been doing amp coil for many, since about 2018, 2017.
Now,
And I
let me just
realized you could,
interrupt
oh,
for a sec. For
uh-huh.
those of us that don't really know what an amp coil is it's a frequency device?
Yes, it delivers sound frequencies with a PEMF delivery system. So it can even do a voice print and tell you the different things that are imbalanced in your body. And then you could run programs that can help to balance those things out, so aren't having those symptoms or problems anymore. And I am being very careful with my wording. And there are some preset programs, and so it's really helped the Lyme community tremendously, but it can help everything. Anything I do that's frequency based does help. It all helps our whole body. And it helps with anything, really, even stress. Stress is what? The number one killer. So even though it's not targeting something that has a diagnosis, and most diagnoses are just descriptions of symptoms, um, you need to do more than just target that. Just like a drug, if it's just going to target one thing, you're not getting rid of the other problems that are going to keep this one thing possibly from going away. So I saw like an advertisement or a video on the EE system, and I was like, oh my gosh, you cannot treat, you can put people, many, many, many people in one room and help so many people all at one time. So from going from nursing, which you're like one-on-one, and then even to the amp coil, having a lounge, you had to have a machine for each individual. But to go to the EE system, it was like, this is the answer. And they're just seeing so many results. It was just like, oh, this is incredible. And I did look into opening a center at a location. And unfortunately, that location, well, I should say, fortunately, that location didn't work out because I had a lot of events in my life that happened. And so I put my unit in my home, in my living room. And I have a setup here where my goal is to teach people how to take care of themselves so I can retire. So, and so I have a setup where people can come in and I'll be here and help them with everything. But I can also have people in my EE system in my living room while I'm doing reflexology or biofeedback or something on somebody else. So it is multiple people at the same time. But I also have clients that I've taught how to use the equipment, and they use my keypad to come in if I'm not here. It's kind of like, and my dream would be to have a center that's like, those 24/7 gyms where you can just go in. It's to educate people how to use the equipment. You sign up for it just like you do at the Y. And so, okay, this machine's going to be occupied at this time or whatever. And so that people can help take care of themselves and understand what they're doing, how they're going to do it, that type of thing. So I do have the system here. It helped. I don't believe I would have gotten through what I went through for 3 years as well if I did not have this system in my home. So I didn't have to go anywhere to use it. I could sleep in the system. And I have so many people that it just makes such a difference in them. It really does.
But let me ask,
So
you've had it set up for, we're coming up on 2 years this summer,
it's a
in
year and a half. Yeah,
year and
August
a
of
half.
23, I had it put in. Hmm.
So what have you personally noticed? I mean, it's in your home, so you get to
Hmm.
have the experience a lot.
Yes.
What have you personally noticed in your own life, in your own health, in your own being?
Yes, I went through significant trauma in December of 21, January of 21, and then for the next 3 years. And it brings a calm, it brings clarity, it brings peace to me. And I would not have had that even at times when like I should be like jumping out of a window, but here I could come in here, I could relax, and it would help me with that. It has given me much more energy because I was a person that, okay, it's 2 o'clock, that's nap time. And so I'm one of those that I love naps, and I found that I could be much more comfortable, even laying down or even sleeping. I'm just so much more comfortable. It's like, oh, this is bliss. And I even caught myself saying, wow, this is bliss. I'm in heaven, even though the world was falling down around me because it made my body so comfortable. It was pretty amazing.
I love that. Now, how many people can be in the room there?
Right now I have it set up for 8, but we have
Okay.
had 10 people in because I have a cot in here that can take up 3 chair rooms, spaces. So but if they want to sit on the floor, we can fit more. We have done meditation classes or sessions in here, and we had 8 in there, 8 or 9 in there and in here, and it was amazing. The feeling in the room, everybody was like, did you feel that difference? And it was just so, I want to say dense, but intense, but wonderful all at the same time.
Fabulous. Now, you've had, obviously, what you just said, you've had a number of people over there. What are some of the stories or testimonials that have been shared with you after they've had the experience?
With the meditation people, that they really went somewhere else. They had totally removed themselves from where they were. It was such a much stronger meditation, and they were more visualization as well. With some other people, I am noticing a client that had had brain surgery, and she is having fewer symptoms. She's having some trouble after the surgery, but she's having fewer symptoms, and we are doing another modality, and I do reflexology in here in the room with her. And it's so calming for her as well. The calming part is something that so many people notice, it's so dramatic for them. And then I had a client that was having radiation for breast cancer. And even her doctor said, wow, your skin is not breaking down. I'm really amazed at how intact your skin is, because a lot of times they can really get a lot of erosion. And she claims to mostly, a lot. She was coming to the EE system once a week, and it wouldn't be on the radiation days, but that's okay. She was still doing it, religiously, and really getting a lot of benefits from that. And I do have people that ask me, can they just stay all day because they don't want to leave? It's just, and I say, sure. And if
Ah,
they have
that's
to go to I show them where the restroom is, and I always tell them, if you go too far, you have to fold the laundry because that's the laundry room.
now speak to us, and particularly with you being a licensed nurse and everything, you possibly more than the rest of us understand the value of the detox. So speak to us a little bit about the detox. Dr. Sandra is very firm that, you do a session, you do the salts, baking soda, borax, detox bath,
Yes,
and
yes,
it's a must. It's not like, oh, if you want to do it, it's like, no, you do.
no.
Step one is to be in the center, the energies, and step two is the detox bath. Can you speak to us a little bit about that?
Yes. Early on when I was first learning alternative, I didn't know to do detox when they were helping me, but they didn't tell me, oh, do a detox. I thought I was going to die, literally, once again. But I was going to call the ER or go to the ER, but what am I going to tell them? I was doing this energy medicine. They're going to put me in a psych unit. So for 3 days, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And I was taking baths then, but that was early 2000s. But not doing a detox is detrimental to your health. What you're doing is this is helping you to detoxify, but you have to help it out of your body. If you don't, what you're doing is you're just loosening everything out of your cells and then it's floating around. And then, gee, if you get a headache, if you get brain fog, if you feel really sick, if you get achy joints, it's probably not the system actually doing that to you or whatever. It's because you're detoxifying and you're not getting what you need to out of your body. You have to do even just the foot baths, either, small bucket or up to your knees if you can. But detox is huge with this. And you might think, oh, I was just sitting in the room. I don't need to do that. But it's a significant part.
Excellent. It's really good to hit that point home. Now, you've spoken about so many other modalities, and this is close to my heart because I consider myself a multiple modality practitioner. And like energy attracts like energy. I'm pretty sure you've got a list of modalities because I've been trying to keep track here. You've mentioned so many. So tell us the modalities that you are well versed in and the ones that you offer and have available for people.
Okay. I use the amp coil, which is a significant part, and the biofeedback. But I'm also I intentionally learned what I needed to know, but also what I could do. I could go anywhere and practice. The EE system is the first thing that is not mobile for me. So I moved 5 times when I was married. And that taught me that I need to be able to do something anywhere if I don't want to have to go back and work in a hospital, which I'm not going to do unless it's on a med bed. Okay. So, so I do reflexology. I do it in the energy enhancement room if they want it in there. And because the reflexology affects every cell in your body as well, the meridians from your feet to your hands to throughout your body. Sloan Kettering does it on all their cancer patients. And then I also do the emotion code. Our emotions can kill us. And when somebody, I'll use an example, if somebody comes in and they tell me they're constipated, they need to get rid of some emotions because I became a certified natural health practitioner or professional. I think it was 2015. So I combine Western with natural medicine. And you don't learn that in Western medicine, you learn to give them a laxative. In natural medicine, you learn why are they constipated? And usually they're holding on to something. They don't want to let go of that. So being a nurse and them saying, well, I took this and I took that, I understand why they're doing that, but I know it's not really helping them get to the root of the problem. But so I am certified in the emotion code with Bradley Nelson, and that I can do remote as well. And then I'm looking at my list because I was like, wow, Catherine. Um, I am a heart math facilitator as well. And that is really huge with the meditation and the heart meditations that they're doing globally and changing everything. And I know they use that example of doing the meditation in DC where they lowered the crime rate by 25%. And I was like, wow. I mean, it's really amazing. But so I do the reflexology, and I also am AMI, Acoustic Meridian Intelligence certified, and it's on a device that you put your feet on, and sound frequencies go through your feet. I used it first in a chiropractor's office in Atlanta, and it goes through your feet, and it has 20 channels, and it balances out. All these frequency devices help us to balance our body and give it what it needs to heal. The energy enhancement system provides that environment as well, and you just relax and sleep. So the AMI 850, I was in the first graduating class. So we're doing flagship classes to help train the new graduates. And that's pretty exciting because we're really seeing a lot of changes in people's health. There's so much you can do. Um, so I'm trying to I didn't bring a card in, but I do, you can cut that. My goal also is to educate people on what they can do, detoxing or anything they can do them to help themselves. If they're not going to help themselves and if they're not going to do what they need to do, there's no point in coming to me. I'm not somebody that says, oh, come again and come again and come again. So, education is, huge for me. And shoot.
Well, there's really so much that you do, and it's very impressive to me. And it's what I really love is that it's all based in this foundation of you being this incredible resource,
Yes,
and
yes.
and all the different modalities and all the different things that you've been drawn to. You've obviously thrown yourself into them to get certified and to learn it at the highest level. And then you bring the EE system in, which
Mhm.
amplifies everything.
It
And
really
so
does.
you get to do reflexology while they're sitting there in the EE system. You get to have them with the amp coil while they're in the EE system. I've worked with Rife inspired frequencies for years, but never with the results, the amplified results we get when we do it in an EE system room. And it is
Yes, yeah.
absolutely incredible. And so I love that you get to mix and match all of this based then again with you being the resource, your knowledge of allopathic and natural alternative
Hmm.
therapies. And it's just like you're making this amazing meal with these different ingredients, but the base is always the EE system. And I just
Yeah.
think that that is absolutely incredible and amazing. And I love how you have the monitors up in the four corners. Obviously, we can only see two of them, but
Yeah.
I know how the alignment is, so I know there's two behind us, or behind me that you're facing. But I think that's great. I just at some point we will be back traveling through Ohio, if not doing events or
You're,
something, and I want to stop in and meet you
I'd
in
love to have
person
you. Yeah,
and just see the whole thing.
yeah.
I think it's fabulous. Now, there's something very interesting about you. In addition to everything else that is very interesting about you, you don't have a website.
Yeah.
You've just recently started some advertising,
Yes.
but really everything has been based on word of mouth and just people saying, hey, listen, this has worked for me. You've got to get a hold of Catherine. Here's her information.
I have several chiropractors that refer to me because before the biofeedback or for the emotion code or for the things that I can do with them. And I had even an 8-year old client who had been to the Cleveland Clinic, had been to Akron General Children's Hospital, had been to her infectious disease doctor, and was seeing a chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, "You need to see Kathy." So I was like, "Uh-oh, these are some big shoes to fill." So, and we were able, I mean, I could, with my nursing and with my natural health professional certification, I could look at her and tell what was wrong. And that's what showed up on the biofeedback. And I do a biofeedback and then the voice print and compare them because I want to make sure I'm hitting what it is that we need to hit or to get to. And they overlapped. And that's something that I really enjoy that to find out, people have been, not that they spent all that money and saw all those doctors, but that we can help people that are in that questionable zone because I was there. I was sick for 10 years. They couldn't figure it out. And I don't want people to have to go through that. And I mean, I barter if they need to barter. That's okay. I'll eat a loaf of sourdough bread any day.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm telling you, Catherine, this has been so nice to have this conversation with you. Now, I want to ask, we've covered a lot of different areas here and put a lot of information out there. Is there anything that we missed that you want to share? Do you offer, you said you have a cot there. Is that just for daytime use? Do you offer overnights? Do you?
No, I do offer overnights. I've only had them when my sister was here. But I have other cots to set up for overnights. I'm more than happy to do those. I have also people, massage therapists that come in and set up a table in the room. And I just take a small portion of that. Also, Reiki master, access bars, a hypnotherapist. So my room and my house actually is open to anybody. If somebody wants to come in and do a practice, somebody's planning a meditation here, and eventually we might be doing them online with her. And but I want it to be open to anybody that wants to use it. It's a provided place. It's a nominal fee and it's doable for people. They don't have to rent a space, monthly or anything.
Wow,
So,
another beautiful facet of the gem that you are. Now,
okay.
you must have some package pricing and things like that, like how many sourdough loaves it takes to get multiple sessions. And
You might have to throw in some homemade jam.
there you go. I love it. Um, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. I just everything about what you're doing and how you present it and how open you are, and it's in your home, and so you're making all this available, is just, this is, to me, the future of people helping people, the future
Yes.
of us. I mean, it's not inexpensive to get 4 units, and to have everything set up, but you've done it. And then it's not like, oh, I need the money, I need the money, I need the money. You're playing an important role in your community, and I see that pretty much across the board with EE system owners.
Yes.
but
Yes.
but you're a unique one, and I honor you for that.
No, thank you.
And I'm hoping that this video can get out there so people in your community really know, like, what they've got, because like we say, you're holding it down there in Canton, Ohio, and it means a lot. People don't really get that, but hopefully this conversation that we've had today helps people get a perspective on you that maybe they wouldn't get from seeing your ad or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's important, and that's what this whole series is about. So thank you so much. We will include uh, a phone number, a email address in the notes wherever this is posted, and
Okay.
people can get a hold of you and make arrangements and everything like that. And from me and from the It's All Good show, thank you. A deep, deep, heartfelt thank you for you being you in your community and how that just reverberates out to all of us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me.